Alrighty, welcome everyone. This is our podcast. It's called Beginner's Path, Misconceptions, and More. I'm the host, Robert Almasi, and for today we're going to be talking about the misconceptions behind running. And some of those misconceptions is that running is only meant for athletic people. Another one is that it causes pain and injury to the body, and then also that you have to continuously train without any days off in order to become better at it. My first guest with us here today is Andrew. This is about the misconceptions he wrote in his paper, so if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Of course. So I'm Andrew. I've pretty much got all the experience you can get. I've run track and field, cross country. I've done other sports, baseball, soccer. I've pretty much been all over the book on running and just everything to do with it. So, yeah.
And we also have two more guests with us as well, Benjamin and Lindsey. Benjamin, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ben. I've just been running regularly for a couple months now. It's kind of it, really.
Fair enough. Lindsey?
Hi, I'm Lindsey. I run 2 miles every other day, and I mainly started running in high school when I got into weightlifting. And yeah, I do it as a hobby, so.
Alrighty. So I don't currently run at this moment, but I used to be in the military, so like through training we would run almost like every day, run about 2 miles or so. So I feel like everyone has some kind of experience with running in their life at some point. So whether it be to be in better health or just because you did it for track purposes and stuff like that. But I'd like to get into like the first misconception, and that is running is only meant for athletic people. Would you say there's some truth behind that?
I don't think so at all. Honestly, it's open to whoever is interested in running. If you just want to run because you feel like it, go ahead. There's nothing stopping you. There's no real incentive. Like, you have to be physically, able, or you just have to be fit. You have to be... you look like a runner. You don't have to. It's meant for anybody. It's open. Anybody is allowed to. No one's stopping you.
Why would someone want to run though?
Just like general, like, you want to get into better shape. You just want to, have a hobby. You want to be physically active. You just want to have something to do, keep you busy.
Okay, so it's like more of it just takes up your time.
It's how some people can perceive it. Other people, I used to run for competition, so I would run, sometimes I'd run leisurely. I'd have I was just so used to it that I would run, if I was bored, I would just go for a run because I ran anyways.
Yeah.
It's just extra training. It helped me clear my mind.
Okay. What about you? You say, because you don't do it for competitive purposes, but you just do it for fun, right?
I do it. It's a feel good thing too. People do it to feel better about themselves. You could hit goals and things, see where you're going. It's a fitness thing. For me personally, I do it to stay fit because it's one of the few things I'd be doing in college that is physically active. So helps me keep my health in check, I suppose.
Okay, so you do it for more maintaining your health and just having a good appearance.
Not appearance, not really that. It is just cardio, but being able to run a mile is something that I would like to be able to do, my entire life, hopefully.
Okay, yeah, it's a personal goal to have.
Yeah, it's just good to be able to do that kind of stuff, and maybe I can get more focused on it in the future. But currently, it's just something I do on the side too. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you run, Lindsey?
Same with Ben. I kind of just do it as a hobby. Makes you feel good, and I'm trying to stay more active since back at home I was really active. I'd go on runs with my dog and go to the gym 3 times a day, which is kind of crazy, but
3 times a day?
Yeah,
oh,
I
wow.
did. But yeah, I just want to stay fit in college, so.
Okay, fair enough. And then our next misconception goes into the pain and injuries that happen to the body. Would you say that's true as well? I mean, I would imagine like through running a lot and whatnot, you wear and tear your body down.
It's very possible to injure yourself. Much like any other activity you've ever done in your life, there's always a risk of injury no matter what you do. For running especially, most injuries come from if you just run incorrectly. If you run incorrectly, you just have bad form, it's gonna eventually catch up to you. You end up with shin splints, stress fractures. It'll just hurt. Like, your body will just ache and you won't feel good.
What personal injuries or like pain have you had to deal with running?
I ran competitive cross country for a whole season. I just had shin splints every race.
Oof.
And it was not fun, and I don't recommend ever running through that, especially if you're just a leisurely person who wants to just run for hobby.
But you forced yourself because you said you were in competition, right?
I competed, so it was either I just didn't run for the season or I toughed it out and just kind of went through it.
Yeah. Have you guys done that? Any track or any in high school or anything like that?
Not in high school.
No.
I ran track in middle school one time, but
One time?
1 year.
Well,
yeah.
What pulled you away from it? Was it you just realized it wasn't your thing or something?
Yeah, at the time it wasn't my thing.
Fair
Competitive
enough.
running or anything like that. Never got into it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Have you gotten injured or anything from running?
I gotten injured. I'd say not anything major, but I'll tear up my muscles because when I try to get into running, my legs weren't adjusted to the activity, so I would basically overwork myself, and that would just result into really sore areas on my legs and stuff.
Would that halt you for a couple days of being able to really do anything?
Yeah. So, if I should have probably worked my way up rather than try to, I guess, do what I wanted instead. But
I mean, when you're the general, I guess, consensus is when you're working out and trying to become better, you're gonna have to experience some of that pain in order to gain that strength. So, I mean, you would say that it just goes with it, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't it was an irregular soreness. My shins in particular were something I never used. So when I would run, they would burn really badly.
Ooh, okay.
And I would
It digs at your calves. It really does.
Calves, yeah. Sir,
is there things you would do differently to because he was saying certain form and technique help with it
I took some of my advice actually from my middle school when I ran track.
Mm-hmm.
I still keep some of the advice they gave me on form
in
mind when running.
Well, what is one of those things?
Just one of them. I don't know how important it is, but is keep your head straight. I used to have a tendency where I would look kind of sort of up towards I guess the horizon almost. But
okay.
That's something I've gotten better with.
You look up too high or?
Yeah, I would kind of have my chin up.
Oh, okay.
But now I look forward. Keep arms relaxed, stuff like that. I think in terms of my leg movement, it's pretty good. When I look at my shoe wear, it seems fine. So, stuff like that.
Okay. Have you had any injuries from running?
No, I've never had any major injuries, but my running partner that I ran with back at home, she ran crazy. She would run 3 times a day, and she wore herself out every day. She'd run, and she tore all of the ligaments in her foot. And unironically, she just did it again yesterday.
Oh, again?
Unironically, she just did it again.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm like,
I don't know how someone could go through that pain twice. Tendons is not a small scratch or anything.
And the sad part
is
that her foot is even bigger this time than it was the first time.
Oh my goodness!
It is super swollen.
I mean, do you think it could get to a point where she might not be able to really run again because of the injury that it can cause?
I don't know. I feel it's just something she needs to work on. I mean, she plays a lot of sports, so she just needs to lay off running as much.
Fair
I feel
enough.
it's just stressing her foot. So
I mean, that's probably another good point is that you have to like take the. Oh well, this actually kind of falls into our next subject about like continuously training without days off. Like, obviously, if you do that, we can see that people get like majorly hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, like what can you really say, or like what do you have to say as far as like taking the time off? Like, is there too much time off, too little time off?
So there's a couple things.
Balance?
You can take days off. Days off are perfectly fine. I'd advise you take a couple of days off a week. You shouldn't be running every single day a week unless you do it like for competitive or like you're actually training for an event. But even then, take a day off, at least one day off. It really helps your body recover. Just take it easy. But another option that you have is a recovery run. So just drive over to a trail, or even just pull up to like a road and just take a nice easy jog for a couple miles or so, or however much you're comfortable with.
Do you like recommend that, like after you do like an intense run session, to just like do a little jog as like a cool off kind of thing?
For every 2 hard workouts you do a week, I recommend 1 recovery run in between or after.
Okay.
And those runs would be at what we call conversational pace, where you're able to talk clearly. You can have a conversation while you're running.
Yeah, not out of breath or anything.
Yeah, you're completely aerobic. You're able to breathe. You're able to talk, and you're just all around. You're just taking it easy. You're slow and trying to recover your body.
Yeah. Are you saying conversational? Do you have like someone you run with or anything?
I used to, yeah. So we'd go for maybe 7-8 miles, and we would talk. It would be an hour on the trails. We would talk for that amount of time, and it really helps the time go by. If you're just getting into running, I recommend dragging somebody into it with you, because it's probably one of the best things that you can do.
Well, what's like the best way to motivate somebody to come with you and start running? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to start running, but just don't have that extra oomph to push them over.
There's a lot of things that can motivate people, and it just really depends on the person. I guess just like the drive to get like just better at something. Like you just want to be, you just want to be able to do that. Like if you just look, a lot of people can, run a mile. And if you can't do that, it might be like an incentive, like, oh, I should, go out there and train a little bit. And,
I want to be able to do that too, right? Yeah, okay.
Some people like running, longer distances, like marathons, half marathons, 5Ks. People just like that sort of thing, and they want to be able to do that, so they have an incentive to just go train. They enjoy being able to do stuff that's not, mentally easy.
All right. Is there like a motivation that you get for wanting to run?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you say, I mean, like you go work out, 3 times a week, right?
Yeah, about, yeah.
What motivates you to keep going and not just stop and just,
honestly,
worry about other things?
The running app that I have kind of motivates me to go, because it sends me notifications that, like, keep going.
That you're not running?
Yeah, it's like, hey, where you been?
Where you
and
been?
So, yeah, it makes me want to run, so.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fair enough. Do you like carry, or do you have like some sort of motivation behind your running?
It just makes me feel good. I like that I did something, at least for running in particular, where it's not like I'm focused on becoming an overachiever of any sort, but I can at least like do it and like.
Well, yeah, it's like the satisfaction that you accomplished something, and then
it does feel good. I don't know. I feel like I just feel better. I don't know. When I run, like.
Do you feel more energetic after it?
I wouldn't say energetic, but I feel like I just breathe better, and my body just feels better, like overall. Just keeps me in check. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I get kind of energetic after a run. I don't know. It like
do you feel like you're more awake?
Something in me that like makes me want to go again.
Well, I mean, it gets your blood pumping.
I can't run again.
I can't run again.
I was ready to fall asleep yesterday after my run. I was tired. I was ready to go lay down.
Is there like a certain time that's like best for working out? Like when your body like I would say maybe like enjoys it the most? Is it the morning time, afternoon, evening, right before sleep?
I don't think it really matters. You can do, whatever you have time for or whatever you want. I always ran 6 o'clock in the morning, bright and early.
Oof.
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's too early now.
I had to do it before school. I had school and I ran before. But then again, I did track in the afternoon after classes, and it was
so you
hot.
had two sessions.
It's what you want to run. If you want to run like in the morning, you avoid the hot temperatures. If you run in the afternoon, you run in hotter temperatures, but it's just like there's more sun, there's more, I guess, like you're awake already. You're not half asleep. Just waking up to go run.
Personally, in my experience, I just work out in the evening. That's like always
Evening has always been the best time.
Maybe it's a bad habit. I don't know, but that's what works for me.
Have you ever tried the morning?
No, I think I've gone maybe like with a run with my dad before in the morning, but I've never woken up bright and early for a run.
Fair enough. I wonder if
it's hard
because you say you feel better after it. I wonder if you did it in the morning, would that make you feel any different? Do you think?
After a while,
I feel like it doesn't work.
You can?
For me, just mentally, it's not quite the same. But it's like when you go through the whole motion of just an average day, you just want to do something that's not so, average. I guess just go for a run a couple miles or something. It just makes you feel different.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you feel far more accomplished than you did before, at least.
I can see that.
Honestly, I really like going to the gym at like absurd times. So like, I'll either go at like 8 o'clock, which is like a decent time, or like 3 a.m. So you don't get the in between. It's either like one of those.
Oh, and if I could touch back on the like injury area, please stretch your bodies before and after you run. It's really important.
I feel like a lot of people don't actually do that.
It's something that's looked over so much because you're like, oh, I feel fine now. But then when you start running, you're going to feel cramps, you're going to feel soreness. And then like an hour or so after your run, you will feel terrible. Your legs will hurt, everything will ache.
Do you start your run, like before you go for your actual run, do you ever run like a little bit at a lighter pace?
Warm up, yes. A warm up. And a warm down, or a cool down, you could call it. Warm up, whenever we ran a mile warm up, did our workout, and then our cool down was just like some real easy, like half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, just to cool our bodies off so we don't get back from a hard workout and then just go lay down or go sit down in class.
Yeah.
But stretching is definitely one of the most important things you can ever do to prevent injury, is making sure your muscles are not tight, they're loosened up, and they're ready to actually work out.
What are like some like stretches you do personally for like running?
Definitely there's a whole lot. There's really a lot. You can watch videos on it. It's really helpful. I guess if I had to name like 3, I would say definitely upper body. You're gonna want to like one hand all the way on like your shoulder and then like over your head and just stretch it, just to like loosen up your arms. It's gonna help a lot. Sitting down stretches, you're gonna want to just sit down and touch your toes. It's not gonna seem like a lot, but it really does help. And then calf stretch, you're just gonna put your foot on an elevated surface and push your heel down. And it's just going to stretch your calves out. It's going to help. It's going to loosen them up. And it's really going to help prevent injuries.
Okay. All right, to wrap everything up, that was our podcast, Beginner's Path, Misconceptions and More. Thank you guys for listening, and see you next time.